Santindriyoja, yogi should be controlled in the senses. Santa means calm and Indriya means senses or faculties. So practitioners have the moral quality of calmness and self-restraint. Indriyas, senses should be kept under restraint with a tranquil mind. So senses or Indriyas, when a person see a good sight, hear the pleasant sound, taste the good meat, etc., senses or Indriya get up and Indriyas are very busy. So that person is attracted to these sensational objects and he finds pleasurable and he will become fidgety. So Indriyas are busy. The person becomes restless, smiling, loving, talking too much because Indriyas are attracted sensational object. When the objects are ugly, the person see the ugly side, he hear the bad news, terrible pain, he smell bad odor. So Indriyas also busy. Senses are not calm. The person becomes perturbed and restless. He cannot be unable to tolerate such kinds of sensation. He may even murmur and grumble, complain, horrible, stupid, etc. He complained. And Buddha said, Magandiya, naturally the mind of the beings enjoy the sensual objects. If you multiply these objects, there would be great harm and danger to you. So we should not follow to the eyes' wish, we should not follow to ears' wish, because the sensitivity or faculty like object very much. So eye sensitivity, ear sensitivity, all sensitivity or faculty should be kept under restraint. So here, during the practice, yogi practice this way, though the eye sees, yogi acts as if he does not see. Though the ear hears, yogi acts as if he does not hear. Yogi tried to faculty under restraint. So the ordinary object or ordinary sensation, whether it is good or bad, yogi have to remain indifferent. That means yogi avoid the object or yogi ignore the object. It is the first method, avoiding method or ignoring method. However, if the objects become extreme or the sensation become extreme, yogi should try his utmost to control them through contemplating and noting, confrontation method. So avoiding method and confrontation method have to apply in the practice. We have to explain these two methods by referring Malucha Pota Sutta. So Buddha said, Bhikkhu Malucha Pota. Malucha Pota, what do you think? Those objects cognizable by the eye, objects not seen, never seen before, you see not now, nor do you have expectation that you will see. Malucha Pota, do you have desire, lust, or fondness for them? Buddha asked Malucha Pota. So Malucha Pota answered, No hitam bande. Bande, surely not. Surely not bande, Malucha Pota answered. So by these questions, the Buddha gave a guideline for the practice of vipassana meditation. Buddha let Maluchabuddha know that desire, lust, or fondness do not arise with regard to objects not seen, never seen before, are not seen now, and which one has no expectation of seeing. With regard to these types of visible objects, there can be no desire, there can be no lust or fondness. Objects which you have not seen before, which you have not seen in the near past or in the long past, and which you are not seeing now, or which you have no expectation of seeing. With regard to these objects, there can be no desire, no lust, or no fondness. With regard to such objects, there is no need to get rid of mental defilements. Mental defilements will never arise with regard to these kinds of objects. So when Buddha asked, can there arise desire or lust or fondness for them? Maluchabuddha said, Bhante, surely not. So by these question and answer, we have to understand that this is the avoiding method. By avoiding the objects, our faculties or indriya can be kept under restraint just by avoiding or ignoring. Desire can arise, lust can arise, or fondness can arise. With regard to what? Desire can arise with regard to the visible objects which have been seen before, or which we are seeing now, or which we have expectation that we will see. So with regard to things that we have seen, we can have desire, we can have lust, we can have fondness. With regard to the things that we are seeing now, the same, we can have desire, lust, fondness. And also, with regard to the things which we have expectation that we will see, we can have desire or lust or fondness. So it is only with regard to things seen in the past or seen right now at the present moment, or with things that we will be seen in the future. These only have to do getting rid of our mental defilements. Once Buddha was staying in Savatthi, and there was a man called Annetikanda, in whom lust arose just through expectation that he was going to have that object. If one can visualize an image in one's dreams or thoughts, lust can arise in one's mind. Aneti Ganda. Eti means woman, Ganda means smell, Anna means no. So Aneti Ganda means no woman's smell. So he was not attached to woman. It is said that Aneti Ganda was born as a Brahma in this previous life. In the world of Brahmas, there are no sensual pleasures. Brahmas always spend their time with the four divine abodes or with the four noble abidings, loving kindness, compassion, appreciate joy, equanimity, metta, karuna, mudita, and upekha. At the end of his life in the celestial realm, he came down to the human world and was born as a man or as a child. He was adverse to women. He was unfavorable to women. So it is said that Anitiganda cried whenever the nurses picked him up. So that is why he was named Anitiganda, no woman's smell. When Anitiganda came of age, his parents asked him to marry, but he said, "No, I don't want a wife. Let me stay alone." He said. His parents insisted, so he thought of a device, or he thought of a way of not getting a wife. He had sculptors make a golden statue, beautiful statue. It was of a woman. So Anitiganda showed this golden statue to his parents. He said to his parents, "If there is a woman as beautiful as this golden statue, then I will marry her." He said this because he thought there would be no woman as beautiful as the golden statue, and that no woman would be found. However, his parents were very rich, so why not? We will find it. So they sent the Brahmins to different parts of the country to look for a woman as beautiful as that golden statue. So the golden statue was very beautiful. So the Brahmin took that golden statue with them and went in search of a beautiful woman. In the country of Sagala, they found such a woman. She was very beautiful and she was delicate. She was kept in a 7-story house. The Brahmin went there in order to know the beauty of the girl. When the girl came down and sat down beside the golden statue, it is said that she was more shining and more bright. So they found that she was more beautiful than the golden statue. So the Brahmin were amazed by the fact that the girl's beauty far excelled that of the golden statue. So they were very pleased. So they sent message back to the parents that they had found a girl even more beautiful than the golden statue. When Anitiganda heard this message, the lust in him was aroused. Before, he did not expect to see a woman or to have a woman as beautiful as the golden statue. Now, Anitiganda had heard that there was a woman more beautiful than the golden statue. So he had lust in his mind. He said, "Bring her quickly." Lust was increasing, so the Anitiganda said, "Bring her quickly." So the Brahmin gave the golden statue to her parents, went back to Savatthi, brought the bride, the girl, but unfortunately the girl died on the way. They were about 500 or 600 miles apart, that means from Savatthi and Sagala. Maybe they had no travel by cart in those days. The roads were not very good, and the girl was very delicate. So she got sick along the way and she died. Then second message, the Brahmin sent the second message that the girl had died along the way. And Anitiganda was so depressed that he could not sleep, he could not eat. So the Buddha saw this and had compassion for him. So Buddha went to his house and asked what had happened to him. When the Buddha was told of his depression, the Buddha uttered a verse. Kamato jayati soko kamato jayati bayam. Kamato vipamudasa nati soko kuto bayam. That means from endearment springs grief, from endearment springs fear. For him who is wholly free from endearment, there is no grief, much less fear. So Buddha uttered a verse. After hearing that verse, Anitiganda became a Sotapanna. So sadness comes out of attachment or endearment. He who has no attachment has no fear and no sorrow. So we have to understand that formerly Anitiganda did not want any woman for his wife. He thought he would never have any woman as beautiful as the golden statue. But when he found out that there was a woman even more beautiful than the golden statue, he was enamored, went inflamed with love, that girl. Anitiganda was attached to that woman which he had not seen, which he had only heard about. So here, with regard to objects, here visible objects, which we have seen, which we are seeing now, or which we have the expectation that we will see in the future, then there can arise desire, lust, or fondness in us. So it is for eye faculty an object, and Buddha answered the same question with regard to sounds. Those sounds cognizable by the ear, cognizable by the ear means real visible objects or real sounds that are taken these respective sense door, and not sound imagined in your mind. And those sense cognizable by the nose, those savors cognizable by the tongue, and those tangibles cognizable by the body, and those dhammas cognizable by the mind. Dhammas which you have not cognized, dhammas which you have not cognized before, you do not cognize now, or who have no expectation that you will cognize. Do you have desire, lust, or fondness for them? Malucha Buddha, Buddha asked. And Malucha Buddha answered, "No hitam bande. Bande, surely not." So with these questions and answers, Buddha wanted us to know that we don't have to do anything with regard to objects which we have not seen, which we are not seeing now, and which we have no expectation of seeing. Just ignore, just avoid. So that is the first method of avoiding method. And then, with regard to objects that are seen and so on, there can be lust, attachment, and fondness. So we have to do something with regard to these objects. Buddha also wanted us to know that only with the objects that we have experienced or that we have expectation of experiencing, there can arise attachment and so on. So here it is not only attachment, anger can also arise, delusion can also arise. Defilements can only arise with regard to objects that we have experienced and so on. So we have to do something about these objects. So with regard to objects that we have experienced and so on, we have to do what we have to do. We have to apply a confrontation method, that is observing method, that is paying attention or just being mindful of them when they are present. When we see something, we have to be mindful of seeing. When we hear something, we have to be mindful of hearing, and so on. If we apply mindfulness at the present moment, when we see, when we hear, and so on, there can be no lust or attachment or fondness, anger or delusion with regard to these objects. So by these questions and answers, Buddha gave us a guideline for the practice of vipassana meditation. Take care of the present things, be mindful of them, and don't get attached, don't get angry, or don't have delusion with regard to them. So how to calm down our indriya? So by applying these two methods, we can calm down our indriya. We can control our senses. Do you have Malucha Buddha Sutta paper? There are some aphorism created by Mahasi Sayadaw. When there is no seeing, defilements by themselves will cease. When there is seeing, dormant defilements arise and increase. So that two sentences mention avoiding method. That is, you ignore the object, you avoid the object. And by noting every seeing, defilements are cut down. There is a confrontation method or observing method. So in Malucha Buddha Sutta, we need to understand the two methods to apply in the practice. Follow my recitation. When there is no seeing, defilements by themselves will cease. When there is no seeing, defilements by themselves will cease. When there is seeing, dormant defilements arise and increase. When there is seeing, dormant defilements arise and increase. By noting every seeing, defilements are cut down. This method of practice in the riddle is found. So the first method is avoiding method or ignoring method. You restrain your senses. And the second method is confrontation method or observing method. It is direct method. Our discourse for today, tomorrow, we have to end our discourse for today by practicing Satipatthana Vipassana meditation by applying avoiding method and confrontation method, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses continuously and meticulously. May you all practitioners realize the real peace in the very near future.
Sadhu, sadhu.